Hello, have a seat. Let's talk books. Today, I want to tell you all about A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. This book tells the story of the Barrett family, John, the out-of-work father, Sarah, the mother who's taken over as breadwinner for the family and is struggling to make ends meet, and their daughters, 14-year-old Marjorie and 8-year-old Mary. Though down on their luck, the family is seemingly happy and lives fairly quiet, normal lives. But all is not as it seems for the Barretts. 14-year-old Marjorie begins to show signs of schizophrenia, and when traditional measures have failed to help, John turns to local Catholic priest Father Wanderley for help. Father Wanderley, after meeting with Marjorie, determines that she is in fact possessed by a demon, and the only thing that will help her is an exorcism. But that's not all. John and Father Wanderley also decide that to help the family through their money troubles, they'll allow a film crew to tape the exorcism in the weeks leading up to it for a reality show they'll call The Possession, planning to solve all of their problems with one easy solution. What could go wrong? 8-year-old Mary is never fully convinced that her sister is possessed, and she struggles to decide not only what she believes is true, but also what that truth might mean for her family. Let me read you an example. I lay there on my back, with my hands folded against my chest, trying to remember and recount everything that had been said in Marjorie's room. I knew that the adults would pick through the video and be able to break down what she'd said and find potential meanings and secrets. I knew that for them, words meant so many different things. I worried that they would figure out Marjorie didn't have a real demon inside of her, that she was faking, and then they'd cancel the show and our family would be back in trouble with money again. But then I thought about her scratch marks, and how scary she was, and I wondered if it was possible for her to be both possessed by a demon and be faking it too. And then I worried about getting a demon stuck inside of me, and I worried about it happening to my parents. What would we do then? Throughout this book, both Mary and the reader struggle to decide what is true, and that search for truth kept me turning the pages of this book. For me, the psychological struggle of figuring out what was going on was much scarier than the classic horror scenes sprinkled throughout the story, even the exorcism scene. That uncomfortable feeling of not knowing what was true stuck with me long after I'd finished this book, and kept me thinking about the story for weeks. We're privy to 3 different narrators in this story: Mary, both as an 8-year-old living through her sister's possible possession, and again 15 years later as she tells her version of the story to a journalist for the first time, as well as through the eyes of a reality TV show obsessed blogger Karen, as she re-watches The Possession again. These varying viewpoints and the lack of a knowable truth makes this story a classic unreliable narrator story along the lines of The Girl in the Train. I would recommend this book to lovers of horror films such as 1973's The Exorcist or 2012's The Possession, as well as those who enjoyed Laura McHugh's own unreliable narrator story, Arrowwood. A Head Full of Ghosts is available from the library in book, audiobook, and downloadable formats. Enjoy, but maybe not after dark.